At this point, our cases in New York City constitute about 54% of the total in the state of New York, and about 32%, almost a third of the cases in the United States of America.
As New York hospitals see a surge in coronavirus cases, medical workers report growing shortages of protective gear. A nurse who tested positive after treating patients with the highly contagious disease has died. We'll get an update from a New York City emergency room doctor, Craig Spencer, who's also a survivor of Ebola, which he contracted while fighting its outbreak in Africa. Then Senator presidential candidate Bernie Sanders successfully fought to strengthen assistance to laid-off workers in the $2 trillion emergency relief bill passed by the Senate, even as he warned about the bill's corporate bailout fund.
I am very, very, very concerned about a $500 billion that will go out to the corporate world without, let me underline, without the accountability and transparency that is needed.
And as the coronavirus pandemic continues to spread around the world, we'll look at India, which is now under the largest lockdown in human history, with 1.3 billion people ordered to shelter in place. We'll speak with Amitav Ghosh, author of The Great Derangement, Climate Change and the Unthinkable. All that and more coming up. Welcome to Democracy Now!, democracynow.org, The War and Peace Report. I'm Amy Goodman. The United States Senate has voted unanimously to approve a record-shattering $2.2 trillion emergency relief package to battle the unprecedented economic shock of the coronavirus pandemic. The House of Representatives is set to vote on the bill Friday, and President Trump has promised to sign it as soon as it reaches his desk. The bailout package would massively expand unemployment benefits, providing laid-off workers up to 100% of their salary and health insurance benefits for 4 months. Freelancers and gig economy workers would be eligible for unemployment benefits for the first time ever. Over $300 billion would go toward direct cash payments to most Americans, with one-time checks of $1,200 for adults and $500 per child. States and municipalities would receive $150 billion in direct aid. Companies would receive $221 billion in tax benefits. $117 billion would fund hospitals and the veterans' health care. And a $500 billion fund would provide loans and loan guarantees for corporations. Vermont Senator, presidential candidate Bernie Sanders, who successfully fought to strengthen the bill's assistance to laid-off workers, voted yes, even as he warned about the bill's corporate bailout.
We do not need, at this moment in history, to provide a massive amount of corporate welfare to large, profitable corporations. I think, as many of you are aware, you have industries like the airlines industry, among others, that have provided for stock buybacks, billions and billions of dollars for stock buybacks. They spent all their cash rewarding themselves and their stockholders. And lo and behold, today, they need a major bailout.
The vote on Wednesday evening was 96-0, with 4 senators absent. Just minutes before the roll call, Republican Senator John Thune announced he was feeling ill, would return to his home in South Dakota to self-quarantine. 3 other senators were also absent due to the coronavirus. Rand Paul of Kentucky, who's tested positive. Utah Senators Mike Lee and Mitt Romney, who are in self-quarantine. Here in New York